Okay, here is my audience. All right. Around Christmas and holiday time, billions of people turn their radio stations on to holiday and Christmas music in order to get into spirit. Personally, that is one of my favorite things to do during Christmas, to get into spirit of the holiday. Do you guys like doing that too? I mean, come on, music's everywhere. On radio stations, at the mall, you can't miss it. Even carolers come at your door. Well, you'll want to listen as I tell you why one particular song probably shouldn't be celebrated anymore or featured on the radio. And that's Baby It's Cold Outside. First, I'm going to tell you why Baby It's Cold Outside is just a historical song taken out of context, where it's just supposed to be funny and easygoing, versus why Baby It's Cold Outside today makes people uncomfortable, can trigger some sexual assault victims, and even is a little bit inappropriate for new generations. Journalist for the BBC, Declan Cashin, wrote his 2017 article, "Is Baby It's Cold Outside Creepy or Empowering?" about why Frank Loesser wrote the song in the first place. He wrote it for his wife and him to sing at a holiday Christmas party in order for them to say goodnight. So they wrote these lyrics, and they were so popular that they played them in Neptune's Daughter, a movie that featured in the 50s. It even won the Oscar for Best Original Song. It was that popular. Now, the reason why we know the song today is because so many pop artists have covered the song, including Lady Gaga, Michael Bublé. It's everywhere. And he says in the historical context, the song was truly just written to be funny for Frank Loesser's family and friends. Slaybell, journalist for the Persephone magazine, wrote her 2010 Listening While Feminist in defense of Baby It's Cold Outside, about why a good girl is trying to save her reputation within these lyrics. She writes that in the 40s, girls were under strict rules between their parents, and they had a huge, important reputation to carry during their pre-marriage days. And in the song, the woman never strictly says no to the man. She just says, "I ought to leave. I ought to go home now. It's too cold outside," he says. But she's just saying, "Well, it's time for me to go." Nothing explicitly no. And in the male lyrics, they're kind of funny. He's telling her that she'll get pneumonia, or that it's too cold, or that there's no cabs, when really, we all know you can make easy reservations to get a ride home. Now, another lyric that is brought up is, "What's in this drink?" This song in the 40s just means that you're probably drinking a little bit of alcohol, and now you're asking yourself, why am I acting so funny? And that is why that lyric was placed there, because she is drinking a little bit, and now she's putting her reputation on the line. Does she stay and ruin her reputation, or does she go home to her parents? Chris Williams, editor and reporter, wrote his 2018 End of the War on Baby It's Cold Outside. It's feminist, really, on Variety, about a woman's battle between her reputation and the risks that come with that. Well, men didn't have any judgments in the 40s. They weren't really held to special concerns like women were. They could go around and do what they want. But women, they were told to be very careful around everybody. And in the song, people say, "Oh, she's worried about her dad pacing the floor, and her grandma's gonna be vicious and say things to her." Well, these are just jokes about what would happen if she were to spend the night at a man's house. Not that she would be shunned for life, but that her reputation wouldn't be as pretty as it was. And Chris Williams also notes that the world is just too sensitive. These lyrics don't need to be taken out of context. They really are what they were meant to be for, to be silly for a little Christmas party. Now, although the historical context of the song do make sense, new generations are not going to be aware of those historical contexts, and it's better to just remove the song from the radio stations, and I'll just tell you why. Megan Thomas, a communications specialist, editor, and publisher, wrote her 2017 article, Baby It's Cold Outside, on NSVRC's National Sexual Violence Resource Center, about the lyrics itself. The male version is called the wolf and the female's version is called the mouse. Why would they play a wolf against a mouse? It sounds like a predator and their prey. It's inappropriate and it makes no sense. She also says that the song pushes consent. Why is she constantly battling him, saying she ought to leave and she should go home? Why can't it just be a one goodbye and let her be free? It's really pushing the boundaries of consent, especially when he starts to compliment her hair and her lips whenever she clearly is trying to leave. In the 1940s, that was a long time ago. People aren't really doing the same things as they were then. Women weren't as equal as men, and in the lyrics, you can see that. She's putting her reputation at risk, but for us, without the historical context, it just looks like she's the mouse and not equal to the wolf. Now, when he says, "Don't hurt my pride" in the song, I mean, come on, she wants to leave, and now he's making her feel guilty. That really pushes the boundaries of consent and could be a little bit triggering to sexual violence victims. I mean, you're listening to a song on the radio that is a fight between a man and a woman. Who wants to listen to that? Minnesota Public Radio, The Current, interviewed Lydia Liza and Josiah Lemansky, songwriters and singers, in 2017 on their rewrite of Baby It's Cold Outside. Liza and Lemansky talked about why they rewrote the song Baby It's Cold Outside. They altered the men's lyrics in order to sound more consensual. They noticed a lot of the lyrics don't encourage the woman to leave, so they begin to rewrite them in order just to promote some consensuality and make the sound be a little bit more appropriate for all listeners of all ages. Liza shares that she is sharing all the profits with several different sexual violence centers in order to promote awareness of sexual violence and harassment. And the song even became very popular, and several magazines and several platforms have taken the song and shared them with radio stations to promote the word of a better consensual song, especially suited for this generation. Now, the one important thing that Liza and Lemansky say is that the song wasn't a bad song. Indeed, that's why they rewrote it. However, it's always appropriate to make an update, especially since it's been 60 years or so, and lyrics just don't mean the same things anymore. So a healthy update is good for everybody. Matt Wright, Fox 8 reporter and writer, wrote in his 2018 article that WDOK stops playing Baby It's Cold Outside on Fox 8. Now, WDOK is a radio station in Ohio that took a poll from listeners at whether they should keep Baby It's Cold Outside on the radio or not. One disturbed listener called one day and said that they felt uncomfortable when they were listening to their song on the radio. Now, why would a listener be uncomfortable from a song? Well, looking at the lyrics, they are pushing boundaries of consent, and that's just not really appropriate in our society. So, after the poll was taken, majority of people voted that the song be removed. Sandra Miller, the president and CEO of Cleveland Rape Crisis Center, even commented that this was a really good, healthy step in promoting consensuality. This song is so old and the lyrics don't make sense. So just taking it away from the radio just gets rid of any questions that kids might ask. And one important thing that the radio station promotes is that no means no. And in the lyrics that are sang in the song, it's really difficult to define why the man is pushing the woman to stay when she clearly is trying to leave. As she says, "I ought to say no, no, no. I ought to leave." Now, billions of people everywhere are listening to these Christmas and holiday songs, especially me, who I love to listen to them. So whenever we turn on the radio station, we don't want to hear inappropriate music, especially when newer generations are not suitable to understand the lyrics. So unless you are a history major or study historical context of lyrics, no one else is going to be able to understand the true meanings of these very old lyrics. So it's better if we just ban them. Thank you.